Good day everyone, Omahe, and today we got two interesting 35mm lenses. The $750 Sony f1.8 and the $400 Samyang f1.8 lens. If you're watching with the hope of saving some cash and wondering how good is Samyang compared to Sony, in this video we'll test both lenses in different aspects. So you make up your mind which lens suits you the best. We'll also cover user experience, sharpness, lens flare, autofocus speed, and much more. Welcome to a new episode of Super Glass, and let's get started. Both lenses create a beautiful portraiture. The 35mm focal length on its own is interesting. Now we'll show you a series of images and I want you to guess which lens is A and which lens is B. I tested both lenses in several photo shoots and I noticed a lot of similarities and a few differences. We'll get into more details in just a minute. I'm sure you couldn't catch lens A and lens B. The output is almost similar. Now label A is Sony and label B is Samyang. What do you think? Do you find any difference? To me, they look very similar in real world. But later in the video you will find slightly different result. I applied some of my presets to these images. If you like the mood I'm using here, these presets are on sale now. But for everyone watching this video, you can get any preset pack you want only for $6. Head off to omagamrawi.com/store, use the coupon code 35MM and get yours now. Both lenses did a great job. During the photoshoot, I was totally happy with Samyang f1.8 as much as I was with Sony. The output is outstanding. I tried f2 and f2.2, but I did most of the shoot at f1.8. Guys, we don't buy f1.8 lens to shoot at f2.8 or f4. It makes no sense. Now, after I got the images on the computer, the $400 Samyang lens produces an image quality very close to the expensive competitor from Sony. We'll see the actual difference when I make the sharpness test at the end of this video. But here in the real world, I hardly can tell the difference, even when zooming in to 100%. Now these are raw images, and I have the same camera settings with both lenses. As you can see, Samyang is a bit darker than Sony f1.8. Not a big deal, that's for your information. In addition, Samyang produced slightly cold color tint. That could be fixed in post. However, in the shoot, I was using manual white balance on both lenses. And actually, I'm not sure if that would be corrected with auto white balance. The autofocus, on the other hand, works very well on both lenses. All was good, nothing bad to mention. Bokeh quality. There is not much I can say here. Both lenses are f1.8 and they produce similar bokeh quality so far. I can see a difference. Samyang and Sony look very similar. Indeed, there is not much background separation at wide and full shots. These shots look very nice anyway. And we see more shallow depth of field at medium shots, when the subject is closer to the camera. 35mm focal length has a unique output. The look and feel are different than 50 and 85mm lenses. Before diving into more details, let's have a quick overview of both lenses, Sony and Samyang. Starting with the build quality, the Samyang 35mm feels like Samyang 45mm f1.8 if you had the chance to use one. Decent build quality and still better than Sony 50mm the 50-nifty f1.8. Samyang is made of plastic, including the focus ring. Actually, it doesn't have the best feeling when you hold it. Sony 35mm f1.8 also made of plastic but feels like metal. To be honest, it feels solid. Guys, this is $750 lens and it should be better. No excuse. Sony weighs 307 grams, 10.8 ounces, including lens hood and rear cap. Samyang is remarkably lighter. It's only 233 grams, 8.25 ounces. That's about 25% lighter than Sony. Now, when we look at the front element, we see that Sony has a larger glass diameter. However, Sony features 55mm filter thread, while Samyang filter size is 58mm. Alright, on the side of Sony we have a manual to autofocus switch button and a custom button, which I don't really use. Samyang on the other hand has one custom button with two modes. Currently in my lens, mode 1 does nothing. Manual to autofocus switch is reachable in the camera menu anyway. Samyang custom mode 2 is aperture control. Now we can use the focus ring to adjust the aperture. Unfortunately, both lenses are not weather sealed. Sony has dust and moisture resistant construction, whereas Samyang doesn't mention any specs regarding weather resistance. Sony minimum focus distance is 22.1 cm, 8.7 inches, while Samyang minimum focus distance is a bit longer, at 29 cm, 1 foot. Now in real world, I don't see the shorter minimum focus distance is beneficial in 35mm lenses. Actually, it's not recommended to get close-up portraits at 35mm, because the face doesn't look beautiful at this focal length. This is 35mm, not 50 or 85. Keep a distance and pick up the frame you feel looks good for you, whether a medium shot or wider. I own the 35mm Sony since last year and I am aware that this lens has slow video autofocus speed compared to other lenses. Now I got Samyang and let's check if it is any better. So in photography, both lenses seem to be super fast, quick autofocus and amazing performance. Look at this one. While in video, Samyang is a bit slower than Sony. As you see, Sony wait for a short time, then quickly switch to the proper focus distance. Whereas Samyang refocus slowly. Technically, Sony has faster video autofocus speed. I just noticed now when testing autofocus that Samyang has focus breathing. See how the background changes at shorter focus distance. While Sony remained the same background dimension whether at short or long focus distance. It's not a big deal if you're not doing focus stacking, and you're probably not gonna use it at 35mm focal length. Lens flare. Here how both lenses Sony and Samyang react with flare. It's just a matter of taste, nothing right, nothing wrong here. Chromatic Aberration. Both lenses Samyang and Sony suffered from color fringing at f1.8. See here the hand's edge, Sony is on the right and Samyang is on the left. Usually chromatic aberration only shows when we have heavy contrast between the subject and the background, and also when we have a backlight. Not all lenses have this flow, but we have it here in both Sony and Samyang. Finally, we're testing sharpness. We already discussed sharpness earlier, but here actually the whole frame is in focus, therefore we have more accurate result. This might be boring, so I will make it really quick. Sony is on the right and Samyang is on the left. At f1.8 and f2, Sony is remarkably sharper in the center, and also sharper on sides and corners. At f2.2, both lenses share similar sharpness in the center, while Sony is still sharper on the sides and corners. Now at f2.5, I don't see a significant difference, whether on the center or other sides of the frame. I kept some sample images in the description if you'd like to check f2.8, f4, and 5.6 sharpness. Both lenses make great images. The autofocus speed is fine, but not great in both of them, Sony and Samyang. Although Sony is sharper, but in real world I don't see much of a difference. So if I have to choose between Sony and Samyang, I would go with Samyang and save $350. Thank you for watching, guys. Thumbs up if you found this video helpful, and bump the subscribe button for more camera gear reviews. This was Oma, and see you in another one.